Myself, Srinivas S, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Chikbalapur. The paper title is Statistical, Quantum and Atmospheric Physics and Nanomaterials. Session number 29, Program BSc 5th Semester, Chapter Atmospheric Physics, University, Bangalore, North University. Learning objects. Students should know about what is the Coriolis force formula, pressure gradient formula, and Beer's law. Learning outcomes of this session. Students can able solving problems about Coriolis force, pressure gradient force, and Beer's law. First problem. Find the Coriolis force per mass at a station at 30° north having a zonal wind of 15 meter per second. Given angular velocity of earth is omega equals to 7.26. Omega is equals to 7.26 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. This is the problem. So read one more time. Find the Coriolis force per mass at a station at 30° north having a zonal wind of 15 meter per second. Given angular velocity of earth is omega equals to 7.26 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. This is the problem. First, now collect what are the data. So in this problem, we have to find what is the Coriolis force. Coriolis force per mass. And station, what is the latitude 30° north having a zonal wind with a speed of 15 meter per second. Speed is provided here. Given angular velocity of earth omega 7.26 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. Angular value omega is also provided here. So first now what are the given things? First collect or you should write here data. Zonal wind is 15 meter per second and angle theta. At what angle? It is a blow 30° north. Means theta equals to 30° north. And omega angular velocity of the earth, you know that 360 divided by 1 day. Per 1 day how many hours? 24 hours. Per 1 hour how many minutes? 60 minutes. Per 1 minute how many seconds? 60 seconds. So here 360 divided by 24 into 60 into 60. Ultimately we get 7.26 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. This is angular velocity of a earth. This is a wind speed 15 meter per second. So angle is given. So which we want to find what is the Coriolis force at 30° north. 30° north. We have to find what is a Coriolis force. So here wind is blow from north to south. From direction north to south. Then velocity equals to minus of 15 j in z axis only, means y axis, vertical axis. Here minus 15j. Then what is the formula? Coriolis force per unit mass, that is minus 2 omega cross of v. Here omega is a vector and then v is also a vector. So here now substitute here. Omega is nothing but angular velocity. It can be resolved into two components. One is the cos theta, other is the sin theta. So here omega can be splitted along the y direction, along the z direction. So j and k are the unit vector along y and z directions respectively. cross of v. V is nothing but linear velocity. So what is the direction of linear velocity? The wind is blow from north to south. Then we taken as v in minus j direction. So minus j direction only. So now substitute here 2 as it is carry here. Then omega is nothing but here provided 7.26 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. Substitute here. Then here omega already taken a common and already substitute here. So theta is nothing but 30 degree. Where we find the theta at that place you should write 30 degree. Here we find theta 30. So here also 30. This is a j direction. Means unit vector is a j cap and unit vector is a k cap into minus 50j. So here j cross of j is nothing but, what is the j cross of j? 0. Leave it up. So here k cross of minus j value is I. You should write here I only. So then here this is a vanished. This term is the vanished here. Remaining thing is only sine of 30k k cap into minus 15k. So in next step, so this thing carry as it is here. Then here remaining 15. So k cross of minus j is equals to high. You should write high. Then 15 into sine 30, 50 sine 30 into I cap. So what is the sine 30 value? Sine 30 value is 0.5 is the sine 30 value, and simplify, ultimately we'll get minus 109.5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 I cap Newton per kg. This is the answer. So what is the direction? So for high, I shows to the direction, I cap shows to the direction here. So minus I cap. So minus I cap shows that which the Coriolis force is acting towards to the west only, towards to the west. Next problem number 2. A racket of mass 5000 kg is fired vertically upwards from a place at the equator with a velocity of 1300 meter per second. If the angular velocity of the earth is 7.3 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second, calculate the Coriolis force acting on it. So here also read the problem once again. A racket of mass m is given here, 5000 kg is fired upwards vertically upwards from a place at the equator with a velocity. At what velocity it is fired? 1300 meter per second. If angular velocity of the earth, so everybody know that what is the angular velocity of earth? That is 7.3 into 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. So here calculate Coriolis force acting on the racket. So now what are the given things here? So mass of the racket is provided. So collect the data as capital M, let it be capital M equals to 5000 kg. This is the mass of the racket. Next thing, which is fired vertically on the equator, therefore theta equals to 90 degree. Theta equals to 90 degree. Collect here. Next, at what velocity it was fired? That is V equals to 1300 meter per second. Next, the angular velocity of earth is, everybody know that is the 7.3 to 10 to the power of minus 5 radian per second. So these things first collect. Next thing is, what is the formula? So we have to find out Coriolis force. So for Coriolis force, we remember the formula Fc equals to 2m omega v sin theta. So here theta is a given, means The racket is fired vertically upward, therefore theta equals to 90 degree. Then what is the sin 90 value? Everybody know that sin 90 equals to 1. So now substitute here. So in above formula, Fc equals to 2, M means 5000, just write here, in cross of omega. Omega is 7.3 into 10 to the power of minus 5. And here cross of, what is the V? V is the 30/100, means 1300. So now simplify, ultimately we'll get 949. So what is the unit? The unit is nothing but Newton. Newton is a unit of a Coriolis force. So in this way we can solve the problem. Next, problem number 3. Problem number 3 is regarding about a pressure gradient force. So now just to read the problem. Calculate the pressure gradient force per unit mass between two isobars of pressure 1015 MB, MB means millibar, and 1000 MB, separate by 90 km from each other. Given density of air to be 1.2 kg per meter cube. So this is the problem. So now in this problem, calculate the pressure gradient force per unit mass. What is the pressure gradient force per unit mass? We have to find out in this problem. So between where? In between the two isobars of pressures, let it be one is a P1, other is a P2. So isobar P1 we taken as 1015 MB, other is P2 as 1000 MB, which are separated by 90 km. Two isobar pressures are separated by a distance of 90 km from each other. So density of air, you know that 1.2 kg per meter cube. Now collect the given data, all these things. So let P1, first isobar pressure, let it be P1. So collect the data 1015 MB right here. Next second isobar pressure P2, write down given data 1000 millibar only. Dx, which are two isobars are separated by dx equals to 90 kilo means 10 to the power of 3 meter. Here meter, and then rho equals to density 1.2 kg per meter cube. So this is a given data of the problem. So we know, everybody know that what is the pressure gradient force formula. Pressure gradient force formula, just we shall remember here, 1 by rho into dp by dx. So rho is nothing but that is the density per unit mass only. So density provided here. What is the density value? 1.2 kg per meter cube. Substitute here. dp by means change in pressure to the change in distance. So 1 over 1.2 into here dp, change in pressure means first pressure of first isobar minus a pressure of a second isobar, means P1 minus of P2 divided by dx. Okay. Next, this is equals to 1 over 1.2 into, so the P1 is provided here has 1015 minus of here 1015, sorry, 1015 here 1015 minus of 1000, and then simplify here. So here the pressure is provided in millibar. We have to convert from millibar to Pascal. So here 1 millibar equals to 100 Pascal. Now multiply the factor of 100 Pascal to here. So therefore after the simplifications, the final answer will get 13.89 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Pascal meter square. Pascal meter square. This is the pressure gradient force per unit mass. So in this way we can solve the problem related about a pressure gradient force. Next we'll see the next problem. Problem number 4. So now read the problem here. Calculate the pressure gradient force per unit mass at a hill station if the pressure gradient is 2 Pascal per kilometer, given air density is 1.2 kg per meter cube. So here also same thing, same problem. So what is the pressure gradient force per unit mass at hill station if the pressure gradient is 2 Pascal per kilometer, means dP by dx per kilometer. The pressure is a variation we found as 2 pascals. Given air density is 1.2 kg meter cube. Very simple this problem. First we collect the what are the given data. So we here also we find the what is a pressure gradient force per unit mass. So pressure gradient force per unit mass, then pressure gradient dP by dx is given 2 Pascal per kilometer. So here given here 2 Pascal per kilometer, and density of air is given, that is 1.2 kg per meter cube. So now recall the formula. What is the pressure gradient force? Pressure gradient force equals to 1 over rho dP by dx. So here rho is given as 1.2, you should write here, into dP by dx, that is 2 Pascal per kilometer. 2 divided by 1000, kilo means how many meter? So 1000 meters makes a 1 kilometer. So here k value substitute here. So here Pascal per meter. So here rho equals to 1.2 kg per meter cube. So now write here what is the dP by dx, that is 2 over 1000. So here 1 over 1.2, simplify these three numerical values, will get ultimately 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Pascal per kg per meter square. So in this way we can solve the problems regarding about a pressure gradient force per unit mass. Next problem, last one, problem number 5. It is related to Beer's law. So now read the problem. A beam of radiation incident at an angle of 60 degree with respect to the normal of a layer of atmosphere of thickness 150 meter with an average density of 0.1 kg per meter cube. Calculate the optical thickness, transmittance and absorbance of the layer if its mass absorption coefficient is 10 to the power of minus 2 meter square per kg at a fixed wavelength. So let's see, read the problem. A beam of radiation incident at an angle of 60 degree. Angle of incidence given here, that is a 60 degree. With respect to the normal of layer of atmosphere of a thickness of the atmosphere is given here dz, that is a 150 meter, with an average density of the density of atmosphere average, that is 0.1 kg meter cube per meter cube. So here calculate the optical thickness, number 1. Secondly, what is the transmittance? In third, what is the absorbance of the layer if its mass absorption coefficient is, so mass absorption, effective mass absorption coefficient here given here, that is 10 to the power of minus 2 meter square per kg at a fixed wavelength, given wavelength only. So now write down all these things here, that under the given data, theta here angle is zenith angle 60 degree, z thickness 150 meter, density, average density of atmosphere 0.1 kg per meter cube, k lambda effective absorption coefficient, k lambda equals to 10 to the power of minus 2 meter square per kg. Then find out tau lambda, that is the optical thickness or optical depth. Next, T lambda, that is nothing but transmittance coefficient. Next, lastly, absorption coefficient. So you know that what are the relation between the tau lambda, T lambda and A lambda. First we have to find out the what is the tau lambda. Tau lambda is nothing but optical thickness. So optical thickness is given rho k lambda secant theta into z, secant theta into z. So here rho is given here, just substitute here. Then k lambda, that is also given here, that is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 2, 10 to the power of minus 2, so already substitute, into secant 60 degree, theta is nothing but 60 degree, secant of 60 degree into 150, that is a z thickness. So after the simplification, so we will get 0.3. So this is the optical thickness. In next, what is the transmittance? Transmittance is know that what is the relation between T lambda and tau lambda. So T lambda equals to e to the power of minus tau lambda. That is equals to, you should write at the tau lambda 0.3 exponential of minus 0.3. So we will get 0.74. So this is the over. In last case, absorption. Absorption, coefficient of absorption is nothing but A lambda. So what is the relation between the absorption and transmittance? Absorption equals to 1 minus of T lambda. So what is the T lambda? 0.74. 1 minus of 0.74 will get 0.26. So in this way we can solve the problems.